Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. In today's video, we're going to break down a few trades that I took today using the 9 EMA strategy and looking for those break and retests. If you've been stopping by to the live streams, we had some killer call outs this morning from the pre-market, Apple, NVDA. We had Roku and Amazon break and retests. Some awesome moves today on the market, and I was able to capitalize using this strategy. So in today's video, I have an example on Tesla. I have an example on Roku. I have a downside example using the 9 EMA on RIOT, and then I have a losing trade to show you today on NVIDIA where the 9 EMA did not work out. I'll show you what I did when it started to break down, making sure to get out of that trade right when the strategy does not look right. And in today's video, you will see that example. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into this. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel for some future videos, and make sure to press that bell notification so that you guys know every single time that I go live and every single time that I post on the channel. All right, guys, so the first trade that I have for you today is on Tesla. Now, this Tesla trade was a little bit risky. It was very early in the morning, but I did spot a moment of arbitrage between the NASDAQ and Tesla, which I wanted to take advantage of, and I will show you that here. I will show you that example. First off, what I did like with Tesla is that all morning here, the first 5 or 6 candles, we were holding that 9 EMA. Every dip below it, we had a big wick higher. So I did like that. So we did hold that 9 EMA. We did sort of hold up here in the morning, and we started to get this push higher. Now, I anticipated this push higher by looking at the NASDAQ. All I had to do was watch the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ was moving up before Tesla started to find this momentum, and I got in anticipating that Tesla move. So if we look at Tesla, the first big green candle was at 9:35. That's when Tesla started to break higher, at 9:35, 5 minutes into market open. If we go to the NASDAQ, you will see that the NASDAQ started to move much earlier than 9:35. It started to move higher. If we ignore these volume bars, it started to move higher here at 9:32. So 3 minutes before Tesla started to move, the NASDAQ was already rallying higher. So I saw this big move here, 9:33, 9:34, 9:35. 4 huge green candles in a row on the NASDAQ. And when I see that, which I'm always watching here on my left side of my screen, I try to anticipate that this momentum will flood into other stocks, similar to like what Tesla did. So if I go back to Tesla, you will see, and I'll pull up my entry for you guys to see. My first entry here, I'll pull up my trades. My first entry here on Tesla was at 9:35. So right here on this big green candle where we started to get that movement is where I got in. So I'm actually going to, let me go ahead and take these overlap volume off. It's a little distracting there. So very nice 9:35 entry on Tesla. Of course, this trade was called out live in the Discord chat. So if you guys want to join, it's $1 a day. You hear all of my trades. So 9:35 is where I got in 12 seconds into this candle. Now, the reason I was confident in this entry was because the NASDAQ was going crazy and Tesla was lagging that move. And when I started to see this momentum push in right here, looking for that high of day breakout, I got in here 2 contracts, 9:35. Each contract was $987. I sold this 3 minutes later at 9:38, which is basically the top of this candle, for $11.25. So just about a little bit less than $2 a contract, just about a $300 gain there on that Tesla move. Now, I got into this because I saw that NASDAQ strength. I saw that Tesla was lagging that move, and I saw that we were starting to hold this 9 EMA, and I wanted to get in for this quick push. The first sign of weakness, this red candle, I just got out and I took my profit. So that was my first trade today. Not so clean with like a bull flag or a break and retest or a perfect 9 EMA pullback, but it was just a little bit of an arbitrage opportunity that I spotted on Tesla. And honestly, if you guys watch the NASDAQ and you watch stocks like Tesla, Amazon, Apple, if you see the NASDAQ starting to push higher, there are times where you can get into these stocks before they start moving, before they start moving when the NASDAQ is moving. So that's one thing that I do on an intraday basis. That's just another learning opportunity for you guys if you're watching these videos. One thing that I want to point out on Tesla before we get to the next trade was this awesome break and retest. So right here, we were intraday at 11:42 in the Discord chat. I was posting this break and retest area on Tesla here at 11:42. And right after that, you can see a crazy move off that break and retest, and that is right here. So we had a push higher, a retest of this level, And then right when we retested this level, we saw a nice rally on Tesla and we continued higher. So a really, really nice break and retest intraday on Tesla there. And if you guys are looking for these setups, they really are everywhere and you definitely can take opportunities off of them. All right, guys, so these ROKU trades are a little bit cleaner with my strategy, the 9 EMA, the break and retest. So here are two great examples for you in today's video. So number one, 3 ROKU calls, 390 calls at $10.53 each. I got in at 9:45 and 48 seconds. So 9:45 is right here on this candle. Now, what was I watching? I was watching, number one, I was watching this very strong consolidation that we had on ROKU right here at around 387, 388. We started to pull back to that 9 EMA right here, and we were creating somewhat of a flag pattern. We were creating that flag pattern. We were holding the 9 EMA, and the second that I saw this momentum push into ROKU at 9:45 with that NASDAQ pushing higher as well, I wanted to jump in to try to take advantage of this high of day breakout. So we had that high of day breakout, which was right here around 391. We got that breakout high of day, and just a minute later on this candle at 9:46 and 39 seconds, I got out for a quick scalp of just about 80 cents a contract, and that was with 3 contracts. So $240, right? 80 cents a contract, 3 contracts, 8, 16, 24, about a $240 trade right there. Just looking at that bull flag, that pullback to the 9 EMA, that nice support hold right here at around 387. That's a little bit of that trifecta trade, and I just took a big push here through high of day and took those quick profits. Now, ROKU did continue, and I got in here on a very, very nice break and retest on my next trade. I did miss this flag pattern right here. So we had another flag pattern that formed right there. I did miss this trade. Now, where I got in was I got in for this break and retest right here on ROKU. So you can see this entire area, anywhere from the previous highs of day to the previous resistance up here. We had a perfect pullback right here, a quick pullback, quick 2 minutes right to the downside, and a perfect support level right here at 392. This is the perfect example of a break and retest and an entry on that retest. And you can see I got in right here at 10:01, which is right on this candle. Once I saw this start to reclaim the 9 EMA, you can see that my entry was 40 seconds into that candle. So almost at the end of this 1 minute candle, I got in for 2 contracts at $9.56. I got in because of the break and retest. I got in because of the strong reclaim of the 9 EMA, and we got a strong push higher. And at 10:03, which is right here on this candle, I just took those quick profits, a little bit more than $1 a contract, so about $200 on this trade right here. All that I looked for on this trade was a break and retest. So the next trade that I have for you is on RIOT. Now, RIOT is an example of using that 9 EMA to the downside, using it for put options and getting out of the puts as soon as it spikes above the 9 EMA and reclaims that level. Now, in the pre-market, we knew that Bitcoin was getting pretty crushed this morning as well as yesterday. We were talking about it in the chat in the morning that anything below low of day pre-market support on RIOT could present a nice flush point to the downside, and that is where I got into these puts. A very small win, but I wanted to show you this because of the strategy. If you scaled up on this type of trade, obviously you would have made a lot more money, but I do want to show you this trade. So I was watching the break of this daily low, which is right here at 29.20. I was watching for that breakdown here on RIOT. We moved higher, curled back over, and we broke below low of day. I got in at 9:48, which is right here on this candle. I got in on this candle after the break of that low of day. We did get a quick pullback to the upside, but the reason I stayed in this and was able to be profitable on this trade was because I just wanted to relax and I wanted to wait to see if we would hold below the 9 EMA. Now, obviously, some people may, cover their put here, get out of the trade for a quick loss because they think it's going to turn on them. But with the 9 EMA, I was just waiting, staying patient, waiting to see if we would reject off that level. Now, like you can see here, just like to the upside, a pullback to the 9 EMA, a push higher into that 9 EMA, a quick rejection off that level, and a turn back over and a flush down lower. Now, I did get out of this on this candle back higher into the 9 EMA. It looked like we were starting to find a little bit of support. We broke above that 9, and I got out for about a 20-cent profit with 5 contract. So about $100 win there on RIOT. So a nice little trade, a nice little downside trade using the 9 EMA. And what we can actually do is if we do minus RIOT, that'll be actually inversed of the stock. So what you guys will notice is now that RIOT stock is inversed, this is where I was relaxed and I waited to see if we could get a rejection at the 9 EMA. So you can see with the stock that's inversed, it's inverse, so it's going the opposite way. We had a nice pullback to the 9 EMA and a push higher. Now the normal RIOT chart, you will see that it's not inversed anymore, and this is where the little circle is, right? So this is your pullback into that 9. That is your rejection at the 9, and that's why I stayed in this trade and continued to hold these put options. As soon as I see it get above that 9 EMA, I take my gains and I get out of the trade. So that's my trade on RIOT. Now the last one I have for you is a losing trade on NVIDIA. So guys, final trade that I have for you today is a losing trade on NVIDIA. And to be honest with you, I would have taken this trade 9 out of 10 times, so it just didn't work out. And sometimes the strategy doesn't work, and you have to make sure that you cut those losses quick. If it's not working out, you can't just hope and pray that it will work out. You have to cut that loss and you have to move on. Keeping those losses small when the strategy doesn't work out will ensure that you have the money to take advantage of future opportunities and make sure that you can make those losses back. So here is an example. Here is where I got into NVIDIA, right here at 1019. So 1019 is right here. Why did I take that? Because I saw a beautiful pullback to the 9 EMA and a little bit of a flag pattern that was forming. So my goal with this trade was a pullback to the 9, get a great entry, and get this push through this flag through high of day. Now, obviously, you can see that did not happen. So what ended up happening was I continued to hold this trade, It was holding 9 EMA until I started to see it break down. So at 1024, which was right here on this candle, we got a big flush through that 9 EMA, and I just cut it for about a $250 loss, roughly. So this is an example of that 9 EMA just not working out. It didn't hold the 9 EMA on the 1 minute, which is where I was wanting to see it hold. My trade entry was because of that 9 EMA hold. If it's not valid anymore, I have to get out of the trade. But what you guys will actually notice, if I did stay a little bit more patient and had a little bit different of a mindset coming into that trade, a little bit different of a game plan, the real pullback was down to the 5-minute 9 EMA, which was right here on this green line. So if we actually go to the 5-minute chart, you will see that this pullback was actually a perfect pullback to that 9 EMA on the 5-minute. And that actually held for quite a while here today on NVIDIA. So this pullback was to the 5-minute 9 EMA, a very nice deep pullback here on NVIDIA, whereas I was taking this trade looking for that 1-minute 9 EMA pullback, which was right here. So unfortunately, I was wrong on this trade. A little bit deeper of a pullback than I expected, but I got out of it, took my quick loss, and just wrapped up the day with the profits that I had. So guys, that's going to do it for today's video, going over a few of those trades, those bull flags, those break and retests, and also using that 9 EMA to the downside as well. This is a strategy that can work both directions, using that 9 EMA as your stop loss if you are taking a bullish trade. If it drops below, you get stopped out. If you're taking a bearish trade, looking for that downside, if the stock goes above that 9 EMA, you take your loss and you move on. This is a very systematic strategy. You can't put your emotions in this type of strategy. If you hold it, you hold it, you hold it, hoping that it bounces off the 9, reclaims that 9 EMA, then sometimes those losses will get bigger than your account can handle. So stay systematic, stay emotionless, use that 9 EMA, use those break and retests. I hope this video helps you. If it did, make sure to press that like button before you head out. Subscribe to the channel for some future videos. If you want to join the Discord chat where I live stream every single day, posting all of my trades, calling out trades live, you can go ahead and check out the link down below. It is literally $1 a day to get education, to see my trades, to talk to other people about potential setups, just overall a great community, and I would love to see you there as well. With that said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.